Well, let me say my words first. We had a couple of leads for speakers for tonight, but they all failed. I don't understand why people are so reluctant, well, the other ones, to oh, it's my turn. To come to the Antelope Valley in August, where it's in meetings in August. I don't understand that. And yet we have the kids going back to school. I think that's incredibly ironic. So I think it's really timely, though, that Olaf's suggestion for someone from Southern California Unified School District to give us an update on what's going on would be most timely. So with that in mind, go ahead and introduce you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're honored to have with us tonight the superintendent of the Southern Current Unified School District. In the past few years, you've probably seen what's been happening with the construction on the outside. You know, we're moving from tropical. He can tell you all about that, the new bus lanes, and what's going on at the new Rosamond Elementary School. There's a lot of stuff been going on the inside that's been really good too. If you saw that, as you go drive past the high school, you see they won 2 golden bells. He can tell you about the transfer rate, people coming into the district. He can tell you about a lot of things that I've already forgotten that he's told me about. So without further ado, please welcome Mr. Jeff Weinstein from Southern Current Unified School District.
We're here all the way through the summer, so you can't let me you don't get any time off. So I'll give you the kind of the highlights of what's been going on. I've been superintendent for 3.5 years. Before that, I was the CBO of the district for 6 months. Before I was promoted to superintendent. So over the last 3.5 years, a lot of things have changed. A lot of things have been going on within the district. And I'll kind of give you a state of the district, kind of where we are now. For the first time in history of the district, we are now over 3,600 students, which is the highest that this district has ever been at, and we are continuing growing. Most of our growth is at the elementary school level. We're seeing more younger kids in, although all of our schools have grown. Our high school is well over 850, middle school over 750, and we're approaching 1,000 at each of our elementary schools. And then, of course, we have our academies and alternative education that have record attendance also. We obviously, at our elementary schools, one of the reasons for our growth is we have a free public preschool. We also have traditional kindergarten and kindergarten as well as 1st through 5th grade. Currently, we have a little over 490 employees that we employ. So that's also getting up there, close to the record that the school district has ever employed before. We have just completed our 3-year technology implementation plan. So one of the big things that you always hear our Rosamond News talk about is things going on within the classroom. So we are fully integrated our curriculum and our technology. Pre-K, TK, K through 2 all have iPads for all the students within their classrooms. 3rd grade has 8 Chromebooks in each of the classrooms, and we have 2 cards per school, 2 elementary schools. So 4 cards total that rotate between the classes that have 35 Chromebooks. So they use Chromebooks part-time in 3rd grade. 4th grade has 101 Chromebooks. These are stay in the classroom, and in January they start to learn to take them home and learn to take care of their Chromebooks. 5th grade has 101 Chromebooks, and they start taking them home, I believe, on the 6th of September. And all of our 6th grade through 12th grade into our junior college campus, we have laptops, 101 devices for all our children. So basically just about everybody in the district has access to technology in the classroom, after school, and be able to take home. All our devices have our textbooks on them. We are slowly going paperless, and each of the devices have learning software, but we also have hard copies of the text available for children who prefer that. One of our big focuses over the last couple of years has been security. This year we have doubled the number of safety officers at each of our campuses. We also have implemented a new entry system into our campuses. We have lockdown campuses, which means that you have to go through the front office to get in. And we have a new entry system, which basically you have to present a government ID. It runs your government ID through the FBI computers, and if you have any outstanding warrants, or if you also have any convictions for child molestation or anything like that. It'll flag you and it will not let you on the campus. So registered sex offenders and stuff like that, we can now prevent from coming on the campus. We also can upgrade our system to take into consideration custody issues and things like that. We have full video surveillance on 50% of our campuses, and the other 50% of campuses will have full video surveillance by the middle of 2017. Some of the things that you see going on, facilities-wise, we added a new Ascend Academy. So we now have an academy for children that are in our positive behavior program. And it's, we not only do our own children here at the district, but we have 5 districts that contract out and bus their children into our district to be in our academy. And also our academy is the model for Kern County alternative education. They send all their teachers now to us to train on how to deal with behavior issues on their campuses. We have expanded our AV campus, which is our Antelope Valley College campus, to 8 classrooms. We had 4 previously. Our Tropico Middle School has a new bus drop-off area, which separates the buses from the parking lot that the parents drop off the kids. Obviously, you can see that we have RES construction, and it's on schedule to open August of 2017 for 1,000 elementary school children. The old RES will be renovated starting January 2018 and reopen August 2018. And we'll be investing about $1.6 million in the renovation for efficiencies, infrastructure, and making sure that we are energy efficient also. The new school is going to run us between $24 and $25 million. And we are on schedule for that. Some of the highlights that have been going on the past year, our Rare Earth Alternative High School and Independent Study Program was both WASC accredited and given 4 years accreditation. We are only 2 of approximately 50 alternative education programs in California that are both WASC accredited, so we're very proud of that. Our West Park Elementary School received 2 Golden Ribbon Awards. Tropico Middle School, West Park Elementary School, Rosamond Elementary School, and the Ascend Academy are all Golden Bell nominees, and we'll find out which one of those won the Golden Bell coming up in the next month. This year, for the first time, we instituted a seamless summer food program. So any child 18 and under living in our community could get free breakfast and lunch and also take home dinner during the week throughout the summer. And it was so successful that we're able to expand to all the holiday breaks. So Thanksgiving break, winter break, and spring break, we will also be running the seamless food program for our children 18 and under. We have also been invited, and we are going up actually next week to Sacramento to join a global cohort, which is basically districts from all around the country sharing their best practices. And we are one of 2 districts in California that was invited, so we're very proud about that. We just received a $600,000 adult education grant to build a new facility for construction and welding trades on our high school campus. We're very excited about that. That should open in 2018. Financially, we are very strong. We have the maximum allowable reserves by California State. We maintain that for the last 3 years. And we are proud to say we just signed and approved last night the new 3-year contract with our teachers union. So which gives them raises for the next 3 years, as well as increased benefits and different things like that. So those are the highlights that's going on. Any questions on anything you guys have seen? Or
Yeah, you mentioned an academy. What was the name of that academy?
Ascend Academy.
Ascend?
Ascend Academy. So the Ascend Academy was the brainchild of Cheryl Taylor 3 years ago, where we would have children who were diagnosed medically with behavior problems, and most of these children were shipped out of the county to lockdown facilities. We have what's called a positive behavior intervention system that we instituted 3 years ago. And these children are rehabilitated so they can go back into general education and know how to maintain their behaviors during that time. We work with medical personnel as well as behaviorists, social workers if there's problems at home. There's a lot of reasons why children obviously act out, and we use that prevention to allow them to find rehabilitation and go back. We've been very, very successful. The program started with 18 students in our first year. We are about 72 students. Out of the 72 students, 24 of those students are not our district. Lancaster School District, Eastside School District, Muroc, Mojave, and Thatch. They all send children, and you'll see their buses coming down Rosamond Boulevard, and they drop their children off to our program. And again, the program was so successful that the alternative education programs that deal with behavioral children within the entire Kern County, they now send their teachers to us to train on how to hold classrooms. Now, a lot of their facilities are known as babysitting facilities. In other words, they don't get to teach them much. All they do is just maintain some of the lockdown facilities. We actually have full educational curriculum. We have reward systems that we work on with them. And we're pretty much the last chance that these children have before they're actually shipped out to some facilities where, you know, they just get put in the system and it's a really fast downward spiral. So we're very proud of what's going on. The assistant principal who's been running the last 2 years, Katie Notterman, is from us. She wasn't brought from the outside. She is a special education specialist, behavioral specialist, and she got all her chops here in Rosamond, and she became assistant principal, and she took over the program for us. So we're extremely proud of her, and Cheryl Taylor, our director of special ed. They did an exceptional job. And we have about a 22% return rate to general, successful return rate to general education right now. So children will start full-time in the program, and then when they achieve a certain level of success, we will bring them back to the general ed programs for hours at a time until they build up where they can be back in general ed the entire day. And all during that time, they have complete support and resources of our school district. And we wouldn't be successful without the support of our board and board president, Mario Gutierrez, just came to join us. Any questions on our construction or anything that you guys see? Yes, sir.
The Rosamond News greatly appreciates the continuing flow of record-setting good news from Southern Kern, particularly 2 items. Number 1, the school library is available on those laptops to all the students, which is a tremendous resource. Number 2, you didn't tell the audience what the teacher vote was on the new contract, which speaks highly of the superintendent.
Well, I don't know if it speaks highly of the superintendent, or maybe it was an easy negotiation, but
How
it
did
was
the school
124 to 1.
And we don't know who the one is, right?
There's always
But one of the things that John did mention was our digital library. We have a library called Overdrive, which gives access to over 20,000 titles to our students on their laptops at any time. They can access it on their home computer, on their home devices, or on the one-on-one devices. And basically it allows them to read books for free whenever they want it. We obviously have hardcover libraries too, as most of us know. We are all moving to the digital age on our iPads and notes and notebooks and things like that. So we actually have a contract that we have all of our titles also digital as well as in hard copy, so that if a child during the summer or any time, they have their own code. They don't have to have our device or anything. They have internet access, whether they go to Starbucks or McDonald's or anything. They have their device. They can just sit there, put in their code, log right onto a digital overdrive, and download a book. The only caveat is they can only take out 1 book at a time. So they take out 1 book, they finish that book, they return it, then it allows them to take out another book. So the only restriction is that 1 book at a time. So we're very proud of that because it basically takes out the excuses of you can't get to the library, I don't know what. And it also has, just like on Amazon.com and most of the smart digital libraries, it sees what you read, what you like to read, and it will make suggestions for your next book. Also, the devices and their codes are locked out to be age appropriate. So in other words, if a 3rd grader goes there, they're not going to get a 12th grade book. You know, they're not going to read the Vampire Diaries or whatever they're reading now in high school. So it's all age appropriate, and the only way they can take a non-age appropriate book, in other words, if we have a 3rd grader that's reading at 7th grade level, the teacher would actually have to put in the code and download the book to their laptop. So it's very secure. We're very proud that we gave universal access to all our kids. We're very happy about that. It's something that we've been working on for a very long time to make sure that we're really trying to make sure we take out all the excuses to make sure that they have access to whatever they want. Our after-school programs are going very well. You probably see the traffic in, with our buses going 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. So our vision from the board was that a child can come before school starts, 7 o'clock in the morning, be safe on our campuses, with our campus safety officers, have activities, curriculum activities, as well as just fun activities. They can have a free breakfast, go to school, have a free lunch and snack, afternoon snack, enjoy sports, enjoy after-school activities all the way down to kindergarten and first grade, after school, and we will feed them dinner, and then we will have buses to take them home. And during the after-school program, they can have homework help, tutoring, or if they're done with their homework, they can play sports or do whatever they want. So we can have the child, because there's a lot of working families out there, 7 in the morning to 6 at night, and take care of the child. Parents know that they're safe, they're in a learning environment, and they're well fed and taken care of. And then at night, hopefully they're done with their homework and then they can have quality family time instead of mom running around or dad running around trying to make dinner. And then, okay, let's try to do your homework, and it's 7, 8 o'clock at night, you know, everything's taken care of. And there's different ways that we're trying to support the community as much as possible.
Traffic patterns. I know you got the new traffic pattern at Tropical Middle School that seems to be working faster. Are you going to do something similar when you build the new Rosamond Elementary School?
We won't have turnaround at the new Rosamond Elementary School, but we will have to pass through. So all traffic will enter through Glendower and then exit through Desert.
Go back around the school and
And go back around the school and backside. And then if we find that there's any traffic issues over on Desert, we will again approach our partners, which are lending us land that we pave that road, and we will then take everybody out through the dirt road.
Okay.
It's along our, this would be the east side of the Little League field. That's where our bus is going now.
Okay. All the way up to Rosewood around the park and then back up.
Right. So we can still do that if we need to. So it's going to just be managing the traffic. But the main thing is to separate children who are walking, children who are being dropped off by parents, and then obviously the buses. And the bus drop-off will be far away from the parking lot, so it should work out pretty well.
Okay, and where's the parking lot going to be then?
The parking lot is going to be right across where the old DO was, right across from the, so where the actual DO building was, that's where the parking is going to be.
Okay, the north side, the north.
Right, to the north side of the building, and the field will be on the south side.
Okay. And you're adding an extra lane on Rosamond Boulevard for how many feet?
Not on Rosamond Boulevard, on the right turn on Glendower.
So Glendower is going to be widened at Rosamond Boulevard?
Just the right turn, and then they'll have to merge in. So just that corner.
So how, about 20 feet, 15 feet?
Probably 15 feet.
Okay. And then the easy question, I think it should be an easy question. Are you going to be doing any other construction, and is it dependent on anything that the voters should know about in November?
Well, one of the things that we would love our voters to know about is that the California state is going to have a school bond on the ballot. And right now, California is not giving money to any school districts to build. So it is incumbent on the taxpayers to build any new schools. We are in what's called a hardship situation, which means we have maxed out the amount of bonds that we can use to build schools. And so it's called hardship money. So we can apply to the state. We are already pre-approved for $100 million. And if the bond is approved or in line with approved architectural drawings, we will receive $100 million to improve the high school and improve Tropical Middle School. So I'm hoping that the voters vote yes for the school bond.
Okay.
There was a lady on staff, I think her name was Debbie, who was working to spin up STEM education. Does that sound familiar?
Yes. At the high school, yeah.
Debbie Keys, I think?
Debbie Keys, our assistant vice principal of curriculum at the high school.
STEM stands for what?
Science, technology, engineering, math. And
so we have green energy classes, we have robotics classes, we have a system called Project Lead the Way, which is engineering classes. We have also other technology trades like CAD design and things like that at the high school. We're continually looking to expand it. We apply for grants, and right now we have enough money where we can continue, as the interest grows, we can continue to expand. And just recently, by the way, our robotics team won, they came in first place for Southern California in a competition. So our robotics team is doing really well. They had a very large competition, one of the largest in the United States. They came 8th about 6 months ago, and now they're moved up to first, so we're getting better.
I run the honorary commander program for the base, and she was one of the honorary commanders. So I'd like for y'all to have another one, whatever they would help with that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We're looking at some education, across.
Yeah, we're always looking for ways to improve access for our kids to see what's out there technology-wise. And they love that stuff. I mean, it's really, our classes for robotics filled up incredibly fast.
And so adult education was, did you say welding?
Adult education currently has welding, yes. So currently we have automotive and welding in adult education. You can become a certified welder with us. Automotive we also have construction trades. So basically we have what's known as ROT or CTE classes, for technical education classes, and they also have for our students as well as the adult classes.
What's the age limit on the adults?
There's
67?
Yeah, no. 150, whatever it takes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we also have
Okay.
English language courses, computer technology courses, and we have GED. We partner with ABC College and Antelope Valley Union High School District for GED classes.
Right.
So we don't have all the classes, but between the three of us, all the classes are available.
Any other questions?
Is access to you, is it just by email, by phone, if someone wants to contact you, or?
I'd just like to say you're doing a fantastic job, and my daughter's a student at Rosamond High School, and she's taking advantage of the college classes there. And this summer she decided to continue to take some college classes at AV College, and she smoked the classes, no problem, A's. And I attribute that to her teachers that she has at the high school, especially her math teacher. She took some math at the college and an English class. So.
One of the things we're very, very proud of, and the teachers at the high school are fantastic. Principal Harold Loney, a really fine principal, and we're very, very lucky to have him at our high school. He's been kind of the leader in partnering with ABC College. So if you don't know this, any high school student can take college courses at our campus. And so we have what's known as dual enrollment classes. So if you take, instead of taking 11th or 12th grade English, you can actually take English at the college on our campus. We have 8 classes. Take English at our campus and you get 11th and 12th grade English credit at the high school, and you earn credits for ABC College, which is automatically accepted at UC and Cal State campuses. So right now, our beginning 9th graders last year could actually take enough college courses by the time they graduate high school, if they wanted to, if they really wanted to put in the work, where they could have an AA degree and a high school diploma at the same time when they graduate. It is literally, the cost is just the student fees. We provide donors who donate money. Mid-America Solar is one of them. We go to a lot of different companies and we collect money so they don't have to pay for their books. So the books are free, classes or the credit, class for credit, all they have to pay is like the student fees, which is something that's mandatory by the state. So at a very low cost, they can end up getting a lot of units. And if they just get, say, 40 or 50 credits, when they actually go to college, like if they decide to get their AA degree from ABC, they're returning students because we actually register them with the college. So they're actually ABC college students. So when they actually go to the college, or if they want to take classes during the summer, they're returning students. And you've probably all heard from college students how hard it is to get classes. Very difficult. And the more, if you're a returning student, you're obviously way up on the priority list. So it's something that we're real happy that they're able to do. And also do it at a very low cost. The reason why we ended up doing that is we found that only 14% of our graduates, when I first studied, 14% of our graduates actually could get into pass both entrance exams of English and math. And we felt that we really weren't doing our job in preparing them for college. So our rigor of our courses went up, but then at the same time we thought, sometimes kids think that college is this unbelievably, big school way out there that's impossible for them to do. It's a scary thing. It's kind of, so what we've done is we've instituted the AVID program, which is looking from elementary school, making them thinking about college and career, and on top of that, by bringing the college to them, they see that, hey, college courses are just like high school courses. You do the work, you'll ace them.
I think they should actually even like them better.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure.
Her high school math teacher was also her college math teacher. So.
Yes, so, and if our teachers have a master's degree or PhD, we have a joint agreement with ABC College that they actually become professors at ABC College and they can teach the courses. So rather than taking the math course on our campus, they can take the math course at the ABC campus at our location, and they have the same teacher. The rigor is a little harder, but then they end up with college credits for free.
As marked into the Rosamond Municipal Advisory Council is George Stemler, and he's passed recently. I don't remember the exact date.
July 17th.
But he was a very civic-minded guy. He was on the board when I first joined it, and he was one of the founding members actually, and just passed. So we wanted to mention that and again acknowledge that, frankly, we never have enough folks who are that selfless and giving. So
He's also sponsored all the barbecues for the academic scholarships
Right.
that got put together initially, and at its home.
Yep. And when they have the parades, it was this flat bed trailer were there for the judges and so forth. So he was very active with the, is it Moose?
Moose, yes.
Yeah, very active. So thank you for that. One of the best parts, in my opinion, of what the Rosamond Municipal Advisory Council is about is one-stop shopping when it comes to community information. The next segment of our agenda deals with community leader reports. And so why don't we start out with Ryan?
Most public entities, it's budget season right now. Board of Supervisors is scheduled to adopt their yearly budget for 16-17 on Tuesday the 23rd next week. If anyone is interested in going to the meeting, I suggest you go and voice your opinion on the budget. And you can find that on the county website, the proposed budget. Also, if you don't want to drive all the way down there, we do have a remote station in Mojave. Let me know, I can guide you to the document to fill out to request to open that up, and I can go open that up for you, and you can speak to the Board of Supervisors from there, and they'll see you. We have a camera set up.
How do they let you know, by phone or email or?
Yeah, you can let me know by phone or email. I'll be here after the meeting. I'll give you my phone number, my email, whatever you'd like, and that's just a little bit closer than driving all the way down Bakersfield.
And of course, the question is there a real issue that we need to be there for? For example, are they closing the substation?
I believe as of right now, the Sheriff Donnie Youngblood has indicated that's still in his plan to remain under budget, I believe.
So then, the meeting starts at 10 o'clock on Tuesday?
9
o'clock on Tuesday, and that's the one that part that deals with
I
the
believe so.
budget.
Yeah, the budget, or the agenda for the meeting just came out this afternoon. So you can look that up on the county website as well. And I can show that to you guys.
We're going to get it published in the Rosamond News if they're.
Ryan is easy enough to get a hold of because you just called Zach Scribner's office.
Oh, he's
And
got a
that's
cell
for-
phone number.
Yeah, I'll give
I
you
understand that, but if you don't get that, you can always call the office and I'll provide it. So, he's easy to get, and he's incredibly helpful and very prompt. Anything else?
But I just recommend if you use that Mojave Road testimony station. I don't think it gets utilized quite enough. It's a good resource for people out in East Kern to not have to drive all the way to Bakersfield. I mean, it's put up on the big screen right in the board chambers in Bakersfield. They'll see your face bigger than if you were there in person. And you can talk to them face to face and tell them how you feel without having to make that big drive.
Is there any way we could use maybe one of Mr. Weinstein's audiovisual classrooms or maybe the Rosamond Community Services District?
I'm not sure, I'm not tech savvy, I don't know how that
Probably not.
works, I doubt it.
But they do have that wired up for that. The one time I used it, there was real bad feedback. And
There's new equipment in there now.
thank God.
Yeah.
You need to see a better makeup artist for you on there.
Well, there's that. It was incredibly distracting at that time, but we got our point across, so. But it is available. I don't know if you all are aware of that,
But it won't be opened up unless someone requests it.
Right.
So make sure you don't have to show up.
Okay, anybody here from the fire department?
They're busy in Cedar Creek.
Kern County Sheriff's Office.
I have different stats than I normally do. I only have a few because the new clerk isn't quite up to speed yet. But stats I have are calls for service, 781 calls for service for the month, 113 reports written, and 41 arrests.
So that was how many calls to the sheriff's department?
781.
That's a lot.
That's actually not a lot of
No.
normal month for us. It's a low
Yeah,
number.
yeah.
Well, I remember back when it was, what, 200, 300 prior to the apartments being put in?
Well, Moby Dick was a minnow, that was a while ago.
That's all the stats I have for this month. So.
And
I got a question. You got a question, Mr. Joyce, go ahead.
Yes, I have a question. When the substation closes, are the patrol cars going to continue their beats in Rosamond?
The plan right now is all the deputies and one senior will be still assigned to Rosamond Beat and be in the Rosamond response area for their shifts.
Night too, that means.
Yeah, all day, all night. The staffing hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Do you expect any change in response time or?
It's hard to say at this time. We're working on some other options as far as other buildings and other offices, but that's all up in the air at this point.
Drug dealers in town?
There we go.
Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of that, and especially since the California laws have changed, it's all been misdemeanor.
Well, if it's still a violation of federal law, the funds and the money can be seized and turned over to the feds.
But only if the federal government is willing to do it. Yeah, and we're not.
Sergeant Anton, do you know what's the minimum square footage of space that you guys need?
There is no mailman. We're looking at different options. I mean, we even looked at possibly the old substation building as an option.
Oh, the old
There's very few
substation.
buildings and offices available, and that's kind of a problem.
Most of them are pawn shops now, right?
California Highway Patrol.
Good evening.
Evening.
I'm Sergeant Singer. I'm out of the Mojave office. I've just returned after about a year and a half stint over in Barstow. I'm normally from the Mojave area. I've been out here for, I don't know, since 1990, Tehachapi area, Mojave, and Rosamond. I'm here to give you some stats. Lieutenant Williams, of course, is our commander. We don't have to worry right now for the substation. But if you know anybody for their benefit, I strongly suggest you look around your community and see if you can find somebody to help these guys out, because they're here to serve you. These stats were made from we're dispatched out of Bishop, if a lot of you don't know. Our dispatch center is in Bishop, California. This is on a 30-day statistics, so from the 18th of July to the 18th today. 911 calls came into Bishop Comm Center, which is our communication center, 4,177 calls. 911 calls into the CHP Mojave area for that jurisdiction for what we handled. 2004 was what we received from the 911 calls. 911 calls from the Rosamond community, 420. So although they had 781, CHP was dispatched to 420. The calls from the Rosamond community itself, CHP handled 91 of those. We've had 9 DUI arrests in the last 30 days, 12 traffic collisions. Hit and runs went up from about 3 in that period to 7. Aid to disabled vehicles, meaning vehicles that were broke down in and about the area, were 3. Loose animal calls where animals basically were running about, creating a traffic hazard, were 3 dogs. Traffic hazard total were 6. Reckless vehicles, that means that the community comes out and says, hey, there's somebody running up and down the street creating havoc. Even if you put in the slow, what do they call them, bumps, help me out. Speed bumps, thank you. Even if those are out and about, some people take measures into, or small measures into drastic means. My call on it is there's only going to be a few that will basically stick around to make the final report. So out of 24 calls that came into us, only 1 individual was caught. We had 1 person that was in public confrontation, meaning they were drunk in public. We had our first open house on the 6th of August. I don't know, there's a few of the faces here that I recognize for being there, and I thank you for being there. There's 375 people attended their first open house. We were able to get a motorcycle officer that came out, a canine officer, one of our commercial officers showed up. We had a simulator, which is the rollover simulator that basically tells you and shows you what happens when you don't wear a seatbelt. We were able to have officers throughout the building doing an educational room for the DUI program and the DUI arrests. We have a PMA room with what we call the taser device demonstrations. PMA is basically physical methods of arrest. All the equipment was out for display so that anybody coming in can see what all the equipment is on our belt and what we use throughout our daily tasks. We had less lethal demonstrations. Basically, if you're not aware what less lethal is the bean bags, the bags that basically project a good punch. We had a canine demonstration, bite and drug sniff demonstration. All those officers came in from Inland Division. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but Mojave CHP is our host basic area. We're out in Inland Empire, which is San Bernardino. So although we're situated in Mojave, Tehachapi, Rosamond, and Boron, our main office for us, we're at Inland Division, San Bernardino. In the next few weeks, according to the lieutenant here, we're going to have a few DUI roving details, which means we're going to specifically saturate certain areas. Rosamond will be one of them, Tehachapi, and we'll be looking for the DUI driver. So if you're out and about and you see us, and you see an abundance of us, that's why. And also, we're going to have a DUI checkpoint coming up here in the next several weeks. Not exactly sure the time and date, and as soon as we know the time and date, we'll let the media know, and we'll give you that information. And then we'll make notification. Other than that, anybody have any questions? All right, well, I'm glad to be a part of this.
When did you come back?
Pardon me?
When did you come back?
August 2nd. I left for a little bit. I've been on 28 years. I've got about a year left, but I'm hoping. I promoted, and when you promote, they put you wherever you go. So I was, like I said, I was in Tehachapi. I was worked in Mojave, which is basically, I looked at the Mojave area as a compass. You got the north towards Ridgecrest, you got the east towards Boron, west towards Tehachapi, and south towards Rosamond. And that's how, and Mojave is the hub. So, yeah, I just returned as of the 2nd, so we'll see. I'm just glad to be home. That drive's a long drive every day, 95 miles.
Wow.
But
Well, welcome
I'm
back.
just happy to be back. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Rosamond Community Watch.
Yes, so I'd just like to let everyone know our August cleanup is scheduled for this Saturday, August 20th. We're going to be meeting up across the street from Sal's, and our cleanup starts at 7 a.m. So I'll be there a few minutes early for check-in. For anyone who's never been to one of our cleanups, we provide the safety gear and water and lunch for our volunteers. We have adopted the 3-mile stretch of Sierra Highway from Avenue A north to Rosamond Boulevard, and we are responsible for both sides of the freeway. So we have a 6-mile stretch, the Sierra Highway. So we have a 6-mile stretch there that we're responsible for. And to date, this will be our 25th cleanup since we started in February of last year, and we have picked up over more than 25,000 pounds of trash.
It was close and maybe you didn't like the result. For example, around the Glendower Park, the county park, Ryan, is the lights going to be going off?
I'll find out. I don't.
Hopefully you have good lights in the park area, but the lights around that otherwise would be going off.
Was that going to include Alexander Avenue?
Alexandria,
Shelley?
Shelley, yeah. You want me to check that? If, you know, like again, if you said, like someone said, if maybe someone realized it's dark and says, you know, this isn't right, I'm going to go around and petition my neighbors. You come back and you can ask, you can petition to have another Prop 218 hearing for your specific district, because we did 48 one of them at a time, which is kind of cumbersome, but we can do one at a time. And if you guys have a change of mind, you can certainly do that.
I know the poles are there, and we had talked about this in the past with RCSD, that if the lights were turned off by Edison, eventually Edison would come over and disconnect the light and or remove the light.
It depends on what the light, if the light pole is being used for something other than just the light.
Okay. And like particularly on our corner, if it's not being used for anything else, would it be possible for the homeowners of the area to purchase a solar-powered street light and attach it to that pole?
You can contact Southern California Edison about that.
The pole is their property?
You have to contact them.
Contact Edison and ask them. It's not, I can tell you it's not, the pole is not the Rosamond Community Services District property.
Okay.
So that much I can tell you. RCSD owns no poles. We basically have been the fee collector for Edison for years, and that's still our continued responsibility. They maintain them and they pay the electricity obviously for them. So you have your option. If it didn't turn out the way you wanted it, you can ask for a revote. I know there was one area, I think right across the street here, they only did a portion. They went by tract. I think there was only a portion of tract of Elm and Oak and Elm Street. And the vote was 3, 4, and 4 against. Well, that means the lights go off. And if you have more people in the neighborhood interested, again, they might want to get a petition up and say, hey, we're all interested in turning it back on. This time we'll vote. That that should help. So yeah, we're open to have you change your mind if you choose to.
Yeah. Kind of hard to change some people's minds, so.
Well, I think some of the big tracks that lost by like 2 or 3 votes, they stayed on. So that was big news. There was like 8 tracks that had been turned off before, actually, or on this time. One that was on before they turned it off. Whatever. That's the lighting area. Talking about budget, we'll be approving our budget on August 30th. Special meeting for that at 7 p.m. at the RCSD building at 35th Street West is Northern Library. And last but not least, probably the most important thing is something we don't really have a whole lot of. That was stealing from AV Crew, but the Water Master met for the first time Tuesday. You guys all know who the Water Master is? Actually, it was Wednesday, yesterday. Yeah. And the Water Master is the 5 people who make up a board, and they represent out of the Antelope Valley groundwater adjudication. It took 15 years to get. They decide who's going to be the water engineer, and they have to have a set of rules first. Once they get the set of rules, they'll choose the water engineer. And my research on water engineers is pretty interesting. And engineers pretty much run, for example, Colorado, Wyoming, they're on top of that. They run the whole system. California is different because we have the State Water Resources Control Board. But having an engineer basically in charge of your water makes a lot of sense. And that's what's going to happen. And he's going to make sure that people aren't wasting their water or not, that there are no unfair trades of water and the water is being allocated where it's supposed to go. There is some controversy over about what the quote-unquote safe yield is, how much water comes into the basin every year on average. But that's going to sort itself out over time. Again, an engineer is going to be someone who's going to be able to understand that. We look forward to that. They're having a special meeting on September 2nd at the Lancaster City Hall at 10 a.m. for some important things. If you have a chance to drop down there and see what's going on, that's very important. We have Rosamond resident Jerry Boja Jr. is actually the Edwards Air Force Base representative over there. He's in charge of the water at Edwards, as well as Rosamond's somewhat tangentially represented by AVEC, and the chair of the 5-member Water Master Board is Rob Paris. He's from Antelope Valley East Kern Water District, or Water Agency, pardon me. So there is some representation all the way around, and if you're interested in kind of getting into it, you can always do that. Of course, they're posting their agendas on the website and all those things that go with that. If you need to have a hard time getting on the website, figuring out what it is, you can always call over at AVAC. Rosamond resident Patty Rose over there is the secretary. Just ask her how to get it done. She'll get you hooked up. So that's the three things I wanted to talk about as far as what's going on in the Rosamond Community Services District. Any other questions about the RCSD?
Any updates on the quality of the water? The chromium in the water, the issues about drinking our water?
Well, the chromium in the water was always been within the range until they changed the range from 50 parts per billion to 10 parts per billion. We've always been around 12 or 13. We're still around 12 or 13, so we're out of range. We might have to figure out a way to blend the water or otherwise take the chromium out by 2022.
So we didn't actually have a dramatic increase, it was just they lowered the standard.
They lowered they raised the standards,
So raised the
lowered the amount of parts per billion is allowable.
And the standards don't necessarily have to do with,
Science.
yeah, what's safe. Yeah, it's, it's what they can detect. That's what drives it. So I know this from having been the environmental public affairs guy, it's just because they can detect it, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily a smart thing to do to get it to that level. But that's why we rely on the expertise of the RCSD and the rest of that to help us figure that out. Those rules can be pretty onerous.
Yeah, it's nice we have the treatment plant right here in Rosamond because they treat everything and everything's clean by then. We have a well that's producing 13 or even 15. You got one, and AVAC has 0. New Mexico you're below the 10. So.
Well, I believe at the federal level it's still 50 parts.
Yes,
Yeah,
the federal still
if we considered as long as it's below that, it's okay. It's just the state, I believe, is okay.
It's another hidden tax. You got to pay the people in money.
Yeah. It's true. It's accurate. Okay, any other questions from RCSD? Rosamond Foundation?
No update.
Okay. Thank you for
40th Annual Armed Forces Day Parade and September Fest is September 24th. Parade will start at 10 a.m. The September Fest will start at 11 a.m. And we're going to have all kinds of vendors, food, games. Instead of doing a band this year, we're going to be doing an open mic. So try to get some of the local talent around, and I'm sure there's some around. They can. I expect to see Olaf up there. Well, you can save you a spot. How's
You
that?
save you a spot?
I'll
Okay.
save you a spot.
All right, do that.
And secondly, the Rosamond Event Center, we got our conditional use permit approved. Right now, we're just waiting on the building permit. We paid the fee for it, so we're waiting for that process complete so that we can start building. We did get all of our brick donated for the event center, and of course our canopy for the stage has been donated, and then we're in process of doing the electrical, wrapping up the electrical layout with a contractor and an engineer, and then get doing the layout for the cement pouring, getting quotes on that as well. So moving forward on that. August 23rd is Rosamond Night at the Jethawks. So get out there and support Rosamond, hoot and holler. And last but not least, tentatively September 8th is going to be a follow-up meeting with the Economic Diversification Program by the DOD. That's the meeting I talked to you guys about last month, and they're going to have a follow-up meeting. It's probably going to be September 8th, 5:30, but I'll send information to you guys once we confirm
So
that.
you can't get them to come the following Thursday for the RMAC and actually speak?
What, I'm going to change the schedule for you?
Well,
I
there
think they're
are 2 people that want to speak to 20. That's
I
the
think they're
question.
trying to come out and put all the communities at the same time,
yeah.
because they're coming out.
Well, they want to speak to 2 people, they want to speak to 20. That's really the question.
It's a good point to bring up too.
I'll look at that.
Yeah, I met with them on the base and gave them a base tour and answered all their questions.
So, and that's about all I got this month.
Anything new on the Diamond Street
Thanks.
lights?
They're coming. Hopefully they're gonna strike the streets at the same time.
The planning department sent John Joyce the Rosamond News the information. They got the streetlights donated on Diamond Street from the renewable energy projects out west of town. They're going to be putting in 18 solar streetlights down Diamond Street.
And there's a rumor that it's going to happen in October.
That's what I hear.
Really? That's the rumor?
Is that from
That's the rumor.
Is that from their public relations guy?
I have no idea. It just
His initials are Adam Tipaton, I can't remember
yeah,
his name.
it just happened.
So maybe we'll have it before the Christmas parade, right?
Right?
Nice.
Tonight, I'd like to get up here and acknowledge a couple of our sponsors, give you a status on our program. So I'm going to get started with our sponsors. Mr. Adam Utah, if you come up for
You hold it. Since you're my gear, you
Got it.
Why don't you go ahead and say up here, please? I think you represent the First Solar Company as well.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
all right, very good.
Thank you very much, sir. We very much appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Also, our favorite here at Rosamond News, Mr. John Joyce.
Okay, your turn.
Yes, thanks.
Thank you very much for all your support. All right. That said, our season kicked off on July 25th of this year. We have about 105 participants out in football. We have, I think, 4 females playing football with us this year, and out of that 105. And we have the biggest cheer squad that I've ever seen since I've been doing this. After 9 years of being out there, we have about 32 cheer participants out there compared to our 9 last year. So we have a significant increase.
Does that have to do with the fact it's a varsity sport down at the high school?
I'm not sure. We've been rebuilding the program after a few years, getting the word out. Evidently, the word got out, so I was very happy that, we're able to provide that. Also, the high school, Mr. Weinstein disappeared on me, but the high school cheer squad is participating with the youth program as junior instructors, so that was awesome. And he missed out. I wanted to thank him as well, because the fields this year, both the high school Tropical Middle School, took an overhaul. And both those fields are just awesome. The gopher holes are missing. The grass is very green. So yeah, it was really nice. Him and his staff had able to provide that to the youth program as well. And all the other programs, but we're playing on it right now, and we're very grateful for that.
Do you miss the gopher holes?
It depends. If we lose the ball, it's great when it goes in the hole. So let's see what else. Ages 5 to 13. Even though we had more participants this year in the football program, we actually are not having what we call our senior division, which is basically a 13, 14-year-old mix. We're able to get to 13 on the lower division, but we think that's due to more of our age and weight change that happened this year. So
Cut off 170 pounds and you'll take a freshman, right?
right, no freshmen, down to 170 pounds from last year's unlimited weight and able to take freshmen. So that kind of took that squad away. Well, we found most of those 13-year-olds went right up into high school anyway, so they're not missing out. There's a couple that don't fit in that category, but rest assured, we make appropriations for them to go elsewhere. And also, our season kicks off September 10th this year. We don't know if it's a home game or not, but I invite you all out to come out and see these kids play. You ever seen a 5-year-old kid ball the head going up and down the field? It's pretty fun. Anyway, I really invite you guys out to participate, cheer our kids on in our community. Thank you very much.
Wow. Send it to me, yeah.
The main test program right now, the one that has everybody's attention, is the F-35. I don't know if you've seen the news articles lately, but there are 3 models, A, B, and C. The B model was the first one to be declared operational. That's the one that will replace the Harrier for the Marines. And then the A model will replace the F-16s for the Air Force, and that just was declared initially operationally capable. So IOC they call it. So that was a huge milestone. They also just went through a huge surge of testing that involved weapons, and that went very well. The last test of that was today. There's been a huge push there. The F-22s are moving down the ramp to where the F-16s used to be. Not sure who the new occupants will be. I learned this last week that some of our liquid runways are not going to be maintained. It's enormously expensive to mark them all. They use a material called CSS1. Looks like oil, spreads like oil. It's not oil. It's an emulsion. You can mix it with water, which we do for 50-50. Back when I was doing that kind of work, we did that on site. We got over a load and a half, and then we would do 3 loads for that. Well, now it comes over pre-mixed, so they can just get right to work and get it done in no time, but they can only do 2 loads that way, unfortunately. So there are more trips. However, some of the runways they'll still be there. They're still surveyed in. They just won't be marked, to save some money. For example, liquid runway 523 after the intersections is a parallel runway, and one of them was put there primarily to be an alternate shuttle runway with the same rough heading that our concrete runway is. Well, they're just going to take that back to one runway. The runway 1735s, which are 7.5 miles long, and again, Book of World Records is the longest runways, they're not going to be marked. Through the middle of that area, I can tell you from having been an assistant airfield manager for a while, that's some of the softest material is through there, so we get a lot of erosion. And and as the water runs, it leaves a dendritic pattern. It's kind of like the veins in a leaf, and eventually it'll resolve, but it's way too soft. Once they started testing that with the automated cone penetrometer, it really didn't hold up to the stresses that the shuttle put under. When the shuttle landed out of like that, it had a landing weight of between 200 and 250,000 pounds per strut. And in the north end and the south end, when they didn't land the shuttle at the south end, but that's where the hardest surfaces are. Through the middle, it's a little on the soft side. So we've had a number of changes of command this season. Brigadier General Carl Schaefer is still the wing commander. Major General Harris is still the commander of the Air Force Test Center. That was really confusing. I don't know if you've ever kept up with that, but the organization that ran the base for many years was called the Air Force Flight Test Center. And the center commander was the base commander. He had 2 wings, a test wing for all the aircraft squadrons and the engineering and all that technical stuff. And then there was an air base wing that had all the stuff that takes to run a base, like the cops and the fire department, and the civil engineers, supply, all that kind of thing. Well, that's not the way the rest of the Air Force does business. So a few years ago, they did away with the Flight Test Center, and all the groups and squadrons that were part of the Air Base Wing were merged into the test wing. So what the Flight Test Center used to be, the 412 Test Wing is now. And the billet was upgraded from a colonel to a brigadier general slot. And the Air Force Flight Test Center is an organization away. So far, that's not too confusing. But then they stood up a brand new organization, and they used the word center again. This drove me nuts. It's the Air Force Test Center. They don't run the base. They oversee all Air Force tests in the whole Air Force, from right here at Edmonds. All tests is coordinated here. So, but all different types. So, people find that enormously complex. I quite write that out. But the organization that runs the base is the 412 Test Wing. That's the important part.
Question for you. The F-35C, what branch of service is that for?
Navy. That'll replace older F-18s. So the control stages are larger. The landing gear is beefed up. It has a tail hook. It's got to be able to handle slamming into an aircraft carrier.
Okay.
And that's pretty rigorous. I spent several years as a Navy air traffic controller. I can tell you that we really take a beating. So that one's not operational yet.
Okay.
Okay, so the new economic impact report came out. We've actually have a few fewer employees than we had the year before. But this is the way it works in flight test. As programs come in, they ramp up, and then the numbers swell, and as they mature, then the numbers go back down. So there's a continual pattern of people coming in and leaving. The number of military, though, has increased to over 2,000. It's up around 2,200 or so, and it was below 2,000. So we do have more military here than we've had. We have a new vice commander at the test wing level, Colonel Schott. He's been here before. He's very active in the Wayside Church, I know. Wonderful guy. So I'm hoping that we can have one of those fellows come out and give us an update on what's going on. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So I think we need to do that.
Probably be our member speaker.
I'll have to see who's around. They are, September is Air Force birthday month, so they're planning a big birthday bash and then a formal ball at the Hellenic Center. They're also, in October, going to re-screen, have to do it digitally, because there is no projector in the base theater anymore, but they figured out a way to do it. A movie called Toward the Unknown. It was filmed at Edwards, it was about Edwards, and it was Bill Holden, I forgot who all else was in it. And when that movie premiered, it premiered at Edwards. And this is the anniversary, so it was 60 years, I guess. 1956 is when that came out. Wow. So they're going to have 3 screenings for the folks on base for that. So that kind of a big deal. That's all I've got.
No, it's quite a bit this time.
Okay. Are there any other community organizations?
I'm with Kern County Sheriff's Department Citizen Service Unit. And what we're here for is we would like to recruit as many new members as would like to join us. There are some requirements. First, you have to apply, simple application, 1 page. And then there comes a bigger one after you pass through an interview system. One of the things you have to do is pass background check and drug screening. And then comes training. And right now we're in the transition period with our training program, but it's a small academy. And the majority of our training is going to be taught in each of our units by our FTOs, our field training officers. The minimum requirements for service with the CSU is 8 hours a month plus a 2-hour meeting. You can do more if you have time. And what we do is patrol. That's our number one thing, is patrolling our community. We patrol downtown. We patrol around our business districts. We patrol the alleyways in the downtown area. We patrol in our neighborhoods, around our schools, our parks. When my husband and I go on patrol, we also do a perimeter check just before sundown to check for any stranded motorists or people who've gone home and maybe broke down on the way home from work. So we do a perimeter check and then we start through town. The other kinds of things we can do. We can assist the deputies if they call upon us. Some of our ladies do pat downs. Some, if it's a female prisoner, we help in that way. We've done perimeter help with their looking for a suspect. We can help make a perimeter out in our cars. We do not do any kind of law enforcement. We have minimal contact with the public for our own safety. And if we see something that looks suspicious, if we see a broken window in a building that shouldn't have one, an open door, we get on our radios and we call dispatch.
and they send a deputy to investigate that. If we suspect there's a stolen vehicle, we get a license plate, we go somewhere else. Call the dispatcher, the deputy comes and checks it out. It's not our job. They don't want us to be involved in that. It's their job. But we're helping them. We're their eyes and their ears to help keep our community a little bit safer. We take paperwork to Bakersfield. We take children to Bakersfield when they sometimes have to be removed from their home. Or if mom or dad are sick and can't take care of them, and we have to wait for a family member to come, they can go to Jameson Center in Bakersfield. There are many things. We take property to the property room. We take, we go up and get supplies. We take mail. Sometimes we're the mailman between substations. There are a lot of varied things we can do. We serve in the community. We help with the parades and we help in traffic control. We help at our festival every year in September in the park. Can't remember everything, but we have a lot of fun. In the past, we've even held a fireworks booth for many years in a row. It's a lot of work. And our unit has diminished over time, and we just don't have enough members to continue that practice at this point. But anyway, what I wanted to do is let you know I have applications here. But the people that come to this meeting are those that take time from their busy lives and help. And I figure you have friends, you have neighbors that might want to do this too. And if we can come to you and show you what we're here to do and invite you to join us, then you might be able to share that experience with your friends and neighbors as well. I have applications if anyone wants.
Hi, good evening. My name is Francisco Panelli. I'm a longtime resident of Rosamond, a homeowner, taxpayer, and quite frankly, I kind of feel abandoned by my community and my county. Regardless of how you feel about the decriminalization of marijuana, 12 pot shops in Rosamond is too many. We now have 4 on Sierra Highway and 3, soon to be 5, on Diamond Street. Our main street that we spend millions to beautify, where we have our Christmas and other holiday parades like our Veterans Day Parade. We certainly wouldn't allow that many liquor stores, strip clubs, or massage parlors on our main street. How are these people getting licenses to operate? Who's making sure they follow the law? And where is our County Planning Commission, and where is our Supervisor Scrivener on this issue? To my understanding, and according to the county website, there's a moratorium on new pot shops. It started May 10th. And it's County Ordinance 5.86.030. Where's our sheriff? And speaking of community planning, and this kind of got me fired up, and you know, I don't know if it's necessarily true or not, but I heard rumor that they were going to put in more low-income apartments in Rosamond, so it got me kind of upset. You guys might be able to clear this up for me. Well, why on God's green earth would the county allow more low-income apartments in Rosamond to be built? When calls to our sheriff's department went up hundreds of % after the last 2 apartments were completed. And the apartment owners are no longer even keeping up the landscaping. I don't know why that is, but that makes them even more of a blight on our community. I have not spoken to or nor met anybody in our town who thinks we have a pressing need for more low-income housing. Also, on top of these issues and others, the Sheriff's Department is planning on closing our substation. I hope that they're doing something to rectify that, because I think we need the exact opposite. I think we need a surge in law enforcement. And I appreciate the volunteers that we have in our hall here. Furthermore, RCSD can't even figure out how to keep our streetlights on, when the county has allowed the power companies to turn half of the valley into solar and wind farms. We're literally awash in power in this valley, and the county could not even negotiate a little bit of subsidy of electricity for our community to keep our streetlights on, in exchange for the blight on our valley and our environment that these windmills and solar panels put in. We literally went from thousands of acres of farmland to thousands of acres of solar panels and windmills, which when they put them in, caused dust to blow, damaged our vehicles, damaged our homes, and I know we've received some compensation for that, but I think, and I would hope, that the county could probably negotiate for a little bit more before they decide to put in some more solar farms, which they plan to do, and cover the entire west side of the Antelope Valley with. Maybe we could get a little something out of them. Maybe they just haven't even been asked. I don't know. But I would think that they would be able to provide for a few solar-powered streetlights in our neighborhoods, which would help reducing crime, because when our streetlights went out, it was pretty bad. And to rely on the people of Rosamond to vote on whether or not we're going to keep our lights on, and have to talk to our neighbors to make sure that they vote to keep our lights on. I understand the issues involved with that, and it was the fact that when they asked us to vote on to keep our streetlights on, they asked for an increase in our taxes and put it on our property tax. And I understand that's the new procedure because we were grandfathered in under the old payment scheme. But what pissed off all the residents was to vote to let them increase our property taxes whenever they felt necessary to raise the rates for our streetlights. If they had just asked for a one-time increase, we would have voted it in no problem. But it gave RCSD the authority to continually increase our property taxes without even consulting us. That was the rip. And I went to the meetings and I talked to, what the hell is his name? Perez?
Perez, yeah, but actually even with Perez, or even if I mean that general manager runs it, that's not the way it works.
But that's what we were told. That's the letter we were sent.
What is passed is the highest amount we can charge.
Okay, and that's fine, right? My question is anybody going to do anything about this? Are we going to stand by and let our town become the county dumping ground for low-income housing and marijuana dispensaries? Don't get me wrong, I'm not arguing against medical marijuana or affordable housing. I think it probably has its place in all of our communities. We've spent trillions of dollars fighting drugs. We've ruined millions of lives, and the taxpayers have got what? So, you know, we don't even need to go into that argument. But yeah, what I'm against is I'm against the imbalance and lack of proper supervision in our district to allow that many pot shops to go in. It's ridiculous. We want to have a parade in front of 5 pot shops? What does that say about our community? It makes us a laughingstock. What the hell? I mean, whether you're for legalizing weed or not, that's ridiculous. We don't have that many liquor stores. We wouldn't allow that many liquor stores or even strip clubs on our main street that we spent millions of dollars to upgrade. So yeah, I feel abandoned. And maybe so should our elected officials come election day, if they don't do anything to remedy this problem. I know that they claim it's procedural and we can fine them and we have to go to court. But you know what? What about our sheriff's department? What if we park volunteer sheriffs or even deputies in the parking lots of these pot stores and busted them for every broken taillight, every tinted window, just made the customers of these illegal pot shops, because that's exactly what they are. We wouldn't have 12 of them if they weren't making a profit. And the law was not about making a profit. It was supposed to be a non-profit collective. Why would they open up 12 of them? Unless they were making money, hand over fist, which they are, doing cash transactions, and even drug deals in the parking lot. If you're kind of observant, I mean, I understand the sheriff's department can be everywhere, right? But, hey, what are we going to do? We have to do something. We just can't continue to let this go on. There's 2 that have just went in on Diamond Street since the moratorium went in place on May 10th. We can at least make the drug dealers uncomfortable. And we can at least do something to kind of, I don't know, make them feel like they're not welcome in our town, because these people are coming from Lancaster to do business. One of them almost killed my wife the other day, making an illegal left-hand turn into the Valley Collective. No blinker, just turned left, stoned, I'm sure, going to get his dope. So, yeah, just came to the council because, you know, this is probably the best place to get answers about these things. And
Well, Mr. Rush is taking all this down, he's making sure that the people, for example, departments over there.
It might be a good idea to maybe bring out.
You know, Sheriff Sparks was a great leader, and we have a great sheriff's department. And I love nothing more when people say things like the Kern County Shooters Department. I love that shit, because it intimidates the criminals. And I like the fact that our sheriff's department has a reputation for being tough. And that's what we want, because that's what we pay our sheriff's deputies to do. We want the criminals to be afraid, but we certainly don't want them to feel like they can just open up illegal marijuana shops in our town with impunity. So maybe we should put the hammer down on these people and maybe see how they feel after that. Thank you.
So I'm here at the RMAC meeting with Linda Bailey. And Linda is a citizen volunteer for the Kern County Sheriff's Department. And with the substation closing, she's coming to RMAC tonight to offer people a chance to volunteer to help put more cars out there. And I want her to tell us all about it.
There is a preliminary application that you fill out, and then you get interviewed, and then you go and meet with Bakersfield.
Okay.
Drug testing, you need to have a clean background.
Sure.
Other than that, the requirements of service are 8 hours a month minimum.
Sure.
And one meeting, a 2-hour meeting every month.
Okay.
And we do a lot of different things. We do patrol in our communities.
Sure.
We do sometimes help the deputies with perimeter containment. We can transport children when they need to be transported to Jamison Center.
Sure.
We transport paperwork and property to Bakersfield, and we communicate with our other substations in the area and take up paperwork and that kind of thing. And it's a mutual opportunity thing. When they have festivals in their community, we go support them, and when we have our parade and our festival here, they come and support us and help with traffic control and that kind of thing during parades. Probably a lot more.
Well, once a new volunteer is totally approved, they get a uniform?
We buy our own uniforms.
Okay.
Provide our own needs in that way, shoes. And,
okay.
But it's the white shirt and the black pants.
All right. And what about transportation?
We use Sheriff's Department vehicles that are marked as civilian patrol.
Sure.
We do not do law enforcement. That is up to the deputies.
Uh-huh.
Eyes and ears for the deputies only.
Okay.
And provide service to them to keep them here protecting us instead of running errands back and forth to Bakersfield.
But if you're out on patrol and you see something going on,
you call dispatch and they refer a deputy.
We
don't go investigate.
I see. I see. So there's.
So if there's an open door you notice on that it shouldn't be,
yeah,
or a broken window, you call dispatch, report it, and they will send a deputy as they are available.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Now, where does a person get that application?
I have some tonight.
You have some tonight, but
yes,
what if?
Otherwise, with the Rosamond sub closing, you will be able to get them at Mojave Sub.
Okay, Mojave Substation, but online, is it possible to download them anywhere?
I don't know.
Okay, but Mojave Substation for right now. Right. That's kind of a starting point.
That's a starting point.
Uh-huh. And you said that your better half is also involved in this project.
Yes, he's a 23-year member of CSU, and I've been in almost 20 years.
Oh my gosh. And where are you from, really?
Here in Rosamond.
Oh, here in Rosamond.
We live here.
Oh, wow. Well, I'd like to interview him too. How are you, sir?
Glad to meet you.
Glad to meet you.
My name is Ron Bailey, Kern County Sheriff's Department volunteers. And we're here tonight observing the meeting and also on a recruitment drive for our unit organization.
Sure, sure. I remember the Rosamond News did several stories when we got our first patrol car. Bobby Maley at that time was alive and had a garage, and he fixed it up.
He was a good friend of mine.
Oh, good. Okay.
He was also my training officer.
Oh, really? Yeah. But That was the first car. How many cars do we have now? Do you know?
Now we have 2 of them in Rosamond.
Okay, 2 going in Rosamond.
Yeah, they're really cool drivers.
Okay.
As many as 3.
Uh-huh. And now, if I'm in a car, how long do I patrol for?
It's bearable, basically your choice. You're required 8 hours a month,
Okay,
so you've got that 30-day,
sure.
period to
Yeah,
do that.
yeah, okay. Well, good. Well, best of luck, and we'll try to get the word out. And maybe you guys tonight here at the RMAC can tell people and get the word out too.
That's what we're hoping.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mhm.